Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Kepra, and I will be discussing a number of things today. Winter solstice is coming up, so we're in the midst of a holiday season. We got some holiday specials that I want to announce. In addition, we have a raw food retreat coming up, and we have some exciting news to announce as well, as far as the shop is concerned. So yeah, let's get into it. First and foremost, right now on my website you can get the book that I wrote, Paradise Health, a feasting and fasting guide to optimal health through detoxification. I have this book, and I don't have a copy, but I have my DVD course as well. And that package together normally is $64. So we're offering 50% off, $32. $32 for the set together. The DVD set is a 6 DVD course. The first 2 DVDs are more lecture based in terms of giving you the foundation information, and then the following 4 are actually hands-on know-how, me demonstrating the different raw food techniques and going through recipes and showing you how to do it at home. My book here, Paradise Health, I wrote this book. Well, I started writing it not to be a book, but to be a guide. I started writing it in 2006 when I started. That was the year that I started supervising group juice fast. We would do a week-long juice fast. Start with a raw food meal. We do juice, mostly coconut water, and then we'd finish with a raw food meal, all prepared by me. So this book was basically started off as a guide. It actually was entitled the Mojo Juice Detox Guide, and what that guide was a basically for people to follow along with what we were doing here in Washington D.C. with the juices. So basically started off as how to make the different juices that we're doing, how we were putting them together, etc. So over a 6-year period, it just kind of grew. It grew to for me to write, just basically give you the information, and why we were doing it, and the success we had. A lot of testimonials in the book, a number of recipes, and it really complements the DVD set, because in the DVD set we reference a shopping list, we reference the categories that we talk about in the DVD set. Like, for example, we talk about the 5 taste sensations. That's one thing. If anybody's ever taken a class with me, we go over that. What are the 5 taste sensations, or the 5 primary ones? And because that really will give you the framework in terms of how to think about food, and what foods come together to provide a certain taste. So again, all of that, not to get into that right now. I just want to let you know that right now, from today, November 27th, 2016, to December 24th. So this is not just a weekend sale, or one-day sale, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Yeah, we're starting it on the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, but it's going to go all the way till the completion of the summer solstice. the winter solstice, excuse me, the winter solstice, which is December 24th. So I hope that you take advantage. If you have the set already, this is definitely a great gift idea. And it's also, really good timing in terms of, how the whole premise is to give you the tools so that you can go into 2017 on the good foot. Okay, so let's lead right into the winter solstice and why we want to, or what is the winter solstice, and why, what is the significance of it, and why, to have this kind of information at this time, why is it critically important? Well, if we look at the winter solstice is typically is when the sun stands still. That's what solstice means. Sun stands still. So it's a 4-day period that goes from the 21st to the 24th. So basically, the way the Earth and the sun are positioned relative to one another in the northern hemisphere, because actually south of the equator is actually going to be, like in Brazil, for example, or any other country south of the equator, is their summer solstice. So they're going through the exact opposite of what we're going through. And what's happening is now the days, in terms of, again, relation to the northern hemisphere, the days are getting, in terms of daylight hours, less and less. And it will actually reach a minimum sometime between the 21st and the 24th. But we take that 4-day period as basically as the period is when the sun pretty much will stand still before the 25th, which in many traditions we label as the birth of the sun in the sky, symbolizing the days actually now to get longer from the 21st to the 24th period. Now, what does this have to do with our health? Well, right now, the best way I like to explain it is, you look at a 24-hour cycle, and because when we look at cycles, basically the best way to understand cycle is that cycles are within cycles, and if we looked at a day cycle, 24-hour cycle, we have basically the waking hours and we have sleeping hours. And we may sleep generally 1/3 of a 24-hour cycle. So if we transposed a 24-hour cycle into a year, to me that is the best way to think about it, because we have the sun now in a waning mode, just like we have a moon. And again, the moon, that's another month or 28-day cycle. And so, we have the waning moon and the waxing moon. So right now, if we had to make it equivalent to a moon or a lunar cycle, right now, in terms of the sun and the sun's energy, we're now in a waning phase. If we had to look at it in terms of a 24-hour cycle, we would be now in a sleep cycle. I like to look at especially the winter solstice, as the peak of the sun's transit in relation to the earth in the northern hemisphere. We look at that peak as equivalent to, let's say, midnight. So midnight is is not the end of the sleep cycle. In fact, many people stay up till midnight. But generally speaking, and scientists have shown that the more hours that we sleep before midnight, those hours actually count as 2 hours for every hour after midnight. So if we looked at this season as a sleep season, just like as we looked at in a 24-hour cycle, we looked at a day, maybe between 8 and 10 o'clock, as times that we should really go to sleep, actually go into a physical deep sleep. This season is that season. We're in that midst now where we're in a longer sleep cycle. And so in terms of our health, basically it means that even if we're not asleep physically into a deep, deeper brainwave cycle, what it means is that we need to reduce our activities, our digestion, or our digestive energy is not the same. Even me doing this video, I've had to, normally when I do these videos, I like to just roll the camera and do it in one take. I think this is the 5th or 6th time that I've restarted doing this. So even my communication ability, I feel, is not the same. So basically, it's really a time to destimulate. It's a time to eat less, sleep more. It's also a reflective time. When we look at the brain in terms of the daylight hours is when our conscious mind is dominant. During the sleep hours, our subconscious mind becomes dominant. We can even say that in terms of this longer cycle season. Right now, the subconscious energy is dominant. As the nights become longer, the days become shorter, or the daylight hours become shorter. So with that time, it's not a time to necessarily look to outwardly achieve your goals. It's a time to become more reflective on the past year, and then also plant the seeds for the new year. Okay. Just like within a day, you understand that your day is only going to be as good as the sleep you got before. So really, when we look towards the new year, our year is only going to be as good as the sleep that we got before the year started. Okay, so now is not the time to be starting like a new workout regimen, and not even necessarily a new diet. Yes, anytime you do anything new or productive, it's going to have a positive effect. But in this day and age, you want to be as efficient as possible. I would say anything that you're looking to introduce now, you want to reflect. You want to set the intention of doing these things in its proper time. We don't want to necessarily use a tool in a less optimal fashion. Okay, we want to use the tool when it is most effective. Our digestive energy, for example, is at its height during the daylight hours. That is when we should eat, our harder to digest protein, fat, um, building block foods. Now, at night, when the energy is waning and as weaker, okay, so essentially we want to take this into account during this season. We still eat during a day, in the proper hours of a day cycle, but we should be eating less. In fact, if you're in tune, your appetite should be weakening. Your appetite should be less. You shouldn't desire to eat as much foods. You should be feeling physically weaker, which means that your level of activity should decrease. All of these things can be subtle, but really they should not be so subtle. You should be able to feel these things and act accordingly. Okay, so that's really what the winter solstice is about in terms of how it relates, and what it is in relation to the earth, how it relates to our health. Essentially, our immune systems are compromised at more so than any other time during this season, the other seasons, because of the sun. If we looked at the sun in relation to the energy that we receive from it, and the fact that that is getting weaker, then our ability to fight off illnesses, our ability to digest food is weaker. So we really have to adjust. Now, when we hit the 21st, especially when we hit the 25th, now that's like waking up from a sleep. You may feel energized, but you're not going to feel energized on a level as when it's high noon versus when you're just sleeping. It's like when you wake up from sleep, it's going to take you a minute or a moment to fully wake up. So it's even though it's a time where now the sun begins to wax all the way through to the summer solstice. Now you have the wind at your back. Now there's a time where you can be aggressive in terms of your goals, all the things that you are setting now from that time till then. So from now through the summer solstice is a time you want to be more meditative. You want to sleep more. You want to do less. You want to eat less. And in terms of fasting, it is by far, in a way, my opinion, that this is the most powerful time to fast. All those things become more heightened, again, being more reflective, more meditative, when you're eating less food. When you're eating less food, that's going to encourage more circulation. It's going to be less work for the body in terms of breaking down food. Again, we're not necessarily looking to build or to do anything outwardly during this cycle season anyway. It is definitely a time to rest, because we want to be full strength for the new year. So this is the time to go to sleep, essentially. And if we use this time wisely, we can be full strength for the new year. So this is what we want. We want to be able to achieve our goals. We want to be able to, reach our potential. And in order for us to efficiently do that, now is the time to rest. Now is the time to fast. Typically, in terms of fasting, now you can fast. I know a lot of people who fast for the solstice. They'll fast from the 21st to the 24th. Most times, I will fast, me personally, before the solstice. Why do I do that? Well, primarily because I'm just listening to my body. Like, I can already feel the energy. I kind of listen to my body. I listen to my appetite. If my appetite, and then the thing is this, like, say if I eat a meal, and I can look at how fast I get full, how much do I enjoy the food. Now I notice that I am not enjoying my food as much, and because of that, that lets me know that the body is like, okay, it's time to stop eating. And that's really, that's something you want to take, just use as a practice throughout the year. When you stop enjoying his food as much, it's really the body signal telling you, is like, okay, you need to eat less, or you need to not eat as much, because really what food is stimulation. So if you just find that you're just overstimulating your body's gonna, in terms of its senses and what is sensing in terms of the different flavors, textures, the protein, the nutrients. If there's a relationship between our senses, how we enjoy or how much we enjoy. To use sex as an analogy, if you don't have sex for a very long time and then you have sex all of a sudden, you're going to really enjoy it. Same thing with food. And the thing is like, I feel like when we start to overindulge in food loses its enjoyment. So it's really this is the prime time to underindulge. This is the prime time to fast. And with our fast, again, coupled with the fact that now we are able to reflect on the past year and then plant the seeds for the new year. So a highly spiritual time. It's no coincidence that our primary holidays are in this season. A very strong time. Even though it's weak in terms of the solar energy, it is strong in the spiritual sense because our subconscious is dominant, and our subconscious is what precedes our outward manifestation goals, or our outer world. It starts from within, and this is the season that we go within, that so we can affect our senses without, or what we see in our conscious world. So this is the season to fast. And this is also, the last note I'll make about fasting is that this is typically when I will do a longer fast. So, when I say longer fast, more than a week, typically. And every year is different. Again, I just listen to my body. There is no roadmap there is, but you always have to be flexible in terms of, I'm not a big believer in setting limits or being solid with numbers. They are important because they provide a measurement stick, but like to say you're gonna do 21 day or 40 days or 60 days. Fasting is one of those things you have to leave flexibility for. I may do a week, I may do 3 weeks. I just it's about listening to your body. You are your best guide. yes, if you were to consult with someone like me or someone with experience, they can coach you and kind of guide you. But at the end of the day, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. If you want to do a couple weeks, but you only did a week, then you succeeded. Again, this body is an animal, and we are trying to tame it, and we want to be gentle with that, and not try to do too much too fast, especially with fasting. All right. So, if you have specific questions, definitely, feel free to share those questions, and I'll do my best to answer those. Moving on, as far as my business, for those of you that have been to my business, it is official. We will be moving. We are now located at 402 A Street, and we'll be moving right down the block, 408 A Street. It's actually 2 doors down. 402 A Street is also 404. So the next business, actually next door to us, is 406, and then next door to that is 408. So as far as a date, there is no hard date. There's obviously red tape we have to cut through, and there is a build out that we have to complete. So, but it is exciting, and I look forward to your continued support and patronage. It's been wonderful 5 years. We're also coming up on our 5-year anniversary. So it's all very exciting. It's just another step for Keppers Raw Food Juice Bar, and providing this service for the community. So I just want to send thank you for that. And we also have our raw food retreat coming up, and the dates are, I don't have the dates in front of me, but it's the President Day weekend holiday. Okay, so it's a 5-day 4-night. People ask me all the time, do I teach classes? I teach all the, we go through the classes, all the classes. Basically what we do is that I demonstrate the food that we end up eating. So before every meal, there's a class that precedes the meal. So for lunch, we'll have a lunch class and we'll have a dinner class. So typically there's 2 classes a day. We have morning yoga, and there's 2 complementary treatments that include deep tissue massage. So, and of course, we're in Jamaica. At Jackie's on the Reef. It's a beautiful place, right outside of the grill, and enjoy it. So if you want to come and spend a couple of days with us, definitely encourage you. How do you find out more information? Well, the best way is to, I know I put a link to the, because I don't have it on my website, but I do. Matter of fact, that's what I'll do. I'll post a link on my website, KeppersRawFoodJuiceBar.com. But there's a link on our newsletter, which will give you the information on how to sign up. So, I hope to see you either at the shop or on a retreat. You want to take classes, you got to come to the retreat. If you want to enjoy the raw food, come to the shop. And in my next video, I was going to combine that with this video, but I wanted to get this video out to talk about the winter solstice, and to just talk about the upcoming things that we have coming. But the next video is going to be good. I'm really working hard to put the information together. But talking about the 5 master fruits. Okay, 5 master fruits. So, think about those. What would be the 5 master fruits? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of in our age of superfood and superfood nutrition. Some of what you may consider to be superfood may be on the list. It may not be on the list. Of course, this is my list, so think about that and give you some food for thought before the next video. So again, subscribe, like, share, all of that. And again, questions, comments, I will respond. Thanks again, and I wish you a wonderful and prosperous holiday season. And I look forward to continuing to share with you so you can reach your health goals and objectives and live a fulfilling, peaceful, happy life. One love.